all for inviting me here today. I am from Flushing, New York, a place known for its large undocumented and Asian Pacific American immigrant populations. Growing up, I always heard my neighbors buying into the toxicity of the SHSAT. It's easy to see why they would invest thousands of dollars into test prep, seeing the test as an end-all be-all. Many of them are distrustful of the government. Many of them experience mental health conditions and housing injustice because they don't understand English, a problem that should not even exist because our country has no official language. Lack of language access also prevents them from learning and reading about the racist history of Hecht-Calandra. From this marginalization and more, we see how, 1, the model minority is a myth, and 2, it's no-brainer that some Asian Pacific Americans would conform to society and go by a scarcity mindset to survive in the only way they think they know how, through meritocracy and supposed educational achievement. So at my school, there is widespread racism of every form. I have heard administrators and educators normalize racist comments or slurs toward Asian Pacific Americans, Black and Latinx youth, and other marginalized folks who experience all that racism on a daily basis. The fact that people in power have turned a blind eye to the wound of racism, letting it fester in our segregated schools for decades, is a testament in itself to the test's toxicity. We are unintentionally excluding Black and Latinx and underrepresented Asian Pacific American youth from the best schools in our city. Schools that shouldn't even exist because all schools should be equitably resourced. And for the APA youth that do attend specialized high schools, and 82% of us do not, many different ethnicities are excluded and underrepresented and misrepresented. So when I say this with the consideration that white privilege has always and continues to run rampant in our schools, which are a microcosm of our society. And when I say this, please remember that it's not on those oppressed to liberate themselves of their oppression. So if you notice few APAs or other folks of color in important dialogues that most affect us, like this one on educational equity, think about what you can do in your power to include us. Think about what you can do to combat centuries of a compounded racism from capitalism. Think about what you can do to combat marginalization and how many people feel emotionally suppressed on a daily basis because they don't see faces like their own in the hallways that they walk, in the places that they're supposed to learn and feel included in the places that are supposed to be diverse. Think about how the media is harmful. Think about how intersections of society have hurt people who feel that they're marginalized and minorities in a country and in a world in which they are not. So really, I am tired of mostly white folks acting as if APAs are privileged, acting as if the model minority myth is real, using us as a pawn when they have no right to, in this debate for integration, which should definitely happen, and by extension, in all debates that support all people of color, which I myself, speaking for myself, do support. So please consider how desegregation, equity, integration, all the good stuff in this world, it cannot wait. We cannot wait any longer. Solidarity cannot wait. Activism cannot wait. So we have to repeal Hecht-Calandra. This, like I just said earlier, is a no-brainer. This is going to get us one step closer to making visions for equity and equality real. If we want to reify, make real all of these visions, we have to stand together and repeal this racist law. We have to stand together and repeal Hecht-Calandra. Thank you.